Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Boss. What an oddly simple name, Boss. We'll just go to the options real quick just to show off the audio sliders, and there's a help thing there, but we don't really need to go into that. 3 save files. I just show off all this crap because it's there to be shown off, because why not? Alright, so, Boss. We can go and equip Boss. Boss is our guy on the right there, and admittedly he's actually kind of cute. I like the art style on this guy. And we have several things we can change on him. We got the mouth and the eyes, which are completely free to modify. So you can have whatever you please, you can have whatever strikes your fancy. That just looks pedophilia-ish. I'm not even going to touch that. Let's see, what else we got here? Sly grin, I'll take that. And you got a bunch of different eyes too. Make him look adorable, frightening, or just goofy. I'll go with that, I like that. You've also got transformations, which you unlock throughout the game, and these transformations actually modify... Those are googly eyes. Those are actually googly eyes, I love that. You can actually modify... You can actually pick these transformations, and these pick what his powers do at some points in the game, but we'll just leave it at that for the time being. And we can buy items. He has 4 different stats. Boss has 4 different stats, and these are changed depending on the item that you give to him, and you've also got some other miscellaneous abilities that you can see down there on the bottom right. For example, these googly glasses add 2 defense, 4 attack, 1 attack speed, and 1 movement, but we don't really want those because they actually decrease most of our stats, so you just upgrade him the way you please, and we'll just leave him as he is. You get 4 different armor slots that all have different sets of items, and they're all visually customizable, you know all that. So we're here now. This is a world map. You unlock more stages by doing stages, so we'll just pop up here into this stage. And on some stages you get little cutscenes like this that tell you where you are and how Boss is going to come and ruin the day. Simple enough, basically. Alright, so here we are with Boss. Controls are very simple. X button is your light attack. Square button is your heavy attack. I love being able to do that. That's just the most satisfying thing in the world in a 2D beat 'em up. Heavy attack to knock them into a wall and just keep juggling them like the little bastards they are. And you can use the L and R button to dodge. So the majority of the game is dodging back and forth, using your light and your heavy attacks where necessary in order to beat the crap out of everybody you see. You can avoid damage. Oh, you can also grab stuff. Like, for example, if you grab a princess and then eat the princess, you get some health back, and there's also some objects you can pick up along the way. For example, cows. We'll just wait for a good stack of enemies. And you can just throw stuff and then beat the crap out of them while they're in the air, and it's actually quite fun. We also have special abilities, so if you hold down and then press one of the 4 face buttons, it does any one of a million things. For example, if I was using another transformation, that would actually be different. So if I was using the really furry transformation, that would have been an ice attack. And there are also 3 other abilities that are fairly self-explanatory. Also Explosive Princess. I am playing on the easy mode. The game does start you off on the normal mode by default, but all the normal mode really does is increase the amount of health and damage that all the enemies have and do. So you end up just having to grind earlier stages over and over again for more gold and more levels in order to unlock better equipment and buy better equipment so that you're actually capable of defending most of the attacks that you can't dodge. Which is quite disappointing, honestly. I was hoping for something actually a little bit more difficult instead of, you know, just pseudo difficulty in the form of just making everything hit harder. I mean, you can dodge a ton of the attacks in this game, but eventually you're going to be surrounded by like 10 people, and there's not going to be much you can do about it. And there aren't that many types of enemies either. I mean, what they have is okay, and it does kind of work. It's just not all that impressive of a diverse lineup. You get a couple of long-range people, a couple of short-range people, and that's about it. There's not really that much else. I mean, there are bosses at the end of every stage, and there are wizards, and they do get more enemies going in slowly, but nothing has been mind-blowing so far. I have been playing this for about an hour or so at this point, so also, your attack range is a bit strange. It just feels like that you can't hit anything that's in the middle of you. Even though you're doing a big swing of your fists, if there's anything standing right next to you, not much will happen. Hold on, I might as well just use a big stomping power here. Because it does massive damage to these walls. And then we can just beat the crap out of this castle, and another horde comes along. So we had one of those items that we have did give us the ability to freeze enemies, if you didn't notice that. But really, this is pretty much all the game is. It's a repetitive as hell beat 'em up, which isn't too bad. Oh, I guess bosses only come at the end of specific levels. That's annoying. There are also, like, other mini stages you can play on. We'll just go have a look at this one. And it's pretty self-explanatory what this is. It's basically a rip-off of pretty much every endless running you could imagine, except it's boring as sin. There are other bonus stages that are like this, but they aren't that impressive either. Or at least I can't imagine they are, considering this is all this bonus stage is. But yeah, great way to put a shield in the middle of something that I can't bloody get to without getting hurt, game. Thanks. And I mean, in this silly little bonus stage, you can put down these explosive princesses to distract him for however long he'll be distracted by explosive princesses. I'm not entirely sure what the justification is to fill a princess with dynamite, and yeah, I'm not even going to ask that question. So it's not that bad of a game, and the art itself is nice to look at. Music's bloody generic. I'm not even going to bother talking about that, but it really is just repetitive beyond belief. I completely missed that shield because I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to my character, not the background. God damn it. At least he actually looks like my guy with the googly eye and everything. And yeah, how am I supposed to get out of that? I'm not entirely sure, but we'll go play one more stage, and don't even know why the thing felt the need to say no valid data there, but we'll go play one more stage, and then we'll call this video to an end, because seriously, I'm getting bored by this already. Entirely generic, relatively unimpressive beat 'em up. Probably has some longevity to it if you can deal with the fact that it's so repetitive that it's just really, really easy to get bored. Sound is not fantastic. I hope this level has a boss in it, because good lord, if I don't even manage to show off a boss, that would be a little bit depressing. You probably want to play in the high difficulty modes just to give this a little bit of longevity and maybe give you an actual chance of failing, because this is the easy mode. This game's currently $7 on the North American PlayStation Store. I don't really think it's worth that, just due to the nature of how repetitive it is. It just gets really dull really, really fast. And I imagine that some of you watching this video are already bored out of your minds. So am I. So am I. Why is the princess not running for her life in the opposite direction? I never really got the idea of that. Also, this kingdom has a lot of princesses. I seriously have nothing to talk about. This is just how dull this game is. Oh look, one of the only interesting enemies in the game because they don't do anything other than just charge at you. They can actually, like, block your attacks, which is the most interesting thing a typical fodder enemy in this game can do, and that's a little bit disappointing. And trust me, the higher difficulties don't really add more to the game. They just make it a little bit... Okay, we got a boss fight, finally. And this will probably be really easy. Looks a lot like me, actually. So yeah, these bosses can actually do more than just stand around and get hit. They have their own abilities. And unfortunately, he's dead. They have their own abilities and their own magical attacks and all that, and they are actually quite hard to beat on harder difficulties, but... I mean, not really much else to it, really. I can't imagine there being that many more levels, but I mean, that's why they have higher difficulties, right? So you have to go back and grind, and when you... And then you have to just, you know, you grind again, and... hope that you win, basically. So that was a look at boss. Maybe when it goes below $5, it might be worth taking a second look at, but right now it's 7 or 8 or whatever it was at. It's not really worth the time. It just gets so repetitive after a very, very short amount of time, and there's not really that much to actually offset that, so you're just stuck with this boring, repetitive beat 'em up with the same enemies and the same sort of boss monsters over and over again, and a couple of side stages that almost turn out to be as boring as the regular stages, if not worse, as in the case with that Endless Runner stage, so not really recommended. Sorry guys. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.